Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was generally promoted by the admin committee that as Tom pointed out, Farmers Market Advisory Board, going through the MAC, this just too convoluted, and it was too much. The MAC had too much of its own job to do, and the Farmers Market Advisory Board was not appointed by the mayor as like most commissions are, and so that keeping this under the control of the city, but having a specific farmers market commission, we recommended that with the rotating 3-year terms. I mean, so that you have a third and a third and a third of 3-year terms. The other items recommended was to go with 2012 because policies, because the policies before 2012 were not set by council, but we had, I think, or was it 2011? I'm sorry, 12. Okay, were set by council. Policies were set by council, and they're perfectly good, and they'll work another year. The world's firestorm, I think, was the word. This is not going to happen. But there are lots of policies and ideas, and as many opinions as there are people that. It would be a good idea for the commission to deal with all of these ideas, just as you said, all Linda's ideas and many ideas of the advisory board. There were representatives of the advisory board that did present. We made sure it was in writing. All of their recommendations were in writing, and they did get to present. And some of their parts of the strategic plan that they thought needed changing now. The admin committee brought them tonight, and there'll be a separate item, but there's also the possibility, and that's what we're to decide tonight, whether the council decides on those policies, those 3 or 4 policies now, or lets the commission deal with that, and that's what we're going to be deciding tonight. My opinion on the commission is that, and on the makeup of the commission, which there was quite a bit of discussion about, is that it's almost not the farmer, people saying this is the farmer's market. It's almost not the farmer's market. It's almost a Saturday market because you've got a lot of arts, you've got a lot of music, you have like chalk art drawing. There are a lot of the Arts Commission activities happen. You also have the public forum. You also have the playground. You've got Extension doing master gardeners. You have all of the city commissions. So there's a lot going on besides farming. And I think a lot of the makeup of the commission could be someone involved in music, someone outside the city limits who lots of people from the county, various counties come in, and that it's much more representative of who's at the market. The customers are at the market. Because if you didn't have any customers, you wouldn't have any market. So we were recommending, yes, do form this commission.
You bring up an interesting point, Sue, in terms of allowing county resident,
it's a possibility.
A county resident.
It's a possibility.
The council
but that
may
was my
consider
personal
that as
opinion,
well.
It's a customers.
Okay. I think there are probably some people here who wanted to speak to this issue tonight. We've received a number of emails. It's not a public hearing per se, but we'd certainly welcome comments. And you heard the City Council indicate that they generally want to tease out the 2 actions that are requested of them tonight. So the first one would be pertaining to this ordinance that would create the Farmers Market Commission, and with the various members, as you've heard described here tonight. The second item that the council will consider separately is going to pertain to the farmers market policies that have been established for last season and may be adopted again for this season. And so what I'll invite first is comment pertaining to the Farmers Market Commission and its makeup. Anybody want to comment on that?
Mayor, prior to that, we didn't go over what those, for the public and the broadcast, we had not gone over what those
would you like to read them?
I would.
Go ahead,
thank
please. Thank you.
As indicated from some of the emails that you received, And there was a big packet of information that was the work of some members of the Farmers Market Advisory Board that was included in the administrative committee packet that included 4 items that, other than some management things that the farmers market or those members thought would be a good idea, had 4 specific areas that they wanted to change the market policies for this year. The first is restriction of market vendors to no more than 150 air miles from Moscow. The second is the total prohibition of resale, so resale would not be allowed in the market. 3, clarifying a shared booth policy. Shared booths are not allowed now. The members of the board would like to have that allowed, and recommending minor changes in various policy language throughout some of the policies. That those were the areas that this group felt they wanted the council to consider placing those changes in place for the 2013 market season. As Sue indicated, that the administrative committee last Monday indicated that they would prefer that the 2012 policies remain in effect, and if the commission is authorized and empowered by the council, that they consider those changes along with other policy changes that likely will come up over the year.
Thank you.